Hello, a warm welcome to the most authoritative sporting channel here on social media. This is your boy man. Today's episode, it is safe to say that Anthony AJ Joshua will not be exercising his rematch clause against Daniel Dynamite Dubois as his promoter, Mr. Eddie Hearn, CEO of Matchroom, has stated that Anthony AJ Joshua suffered manual injuries in the Daniel Dubois bout. And now the two leading candidates to take the chance in facing Daniel Dubois for a world title opportunity are Fabio Wardley, the current European heavyweight champion and former WBO champion in the person of Joseph Parker. These are the two leading candidates, and why are they leading? I'll be bringing you all the details on the most authoritative sporting channel. But first, if you have not hit the subscribe button, this is just the perfect time to hit the subscribe button. Press the bell icon, express your views in the comment section, and share so others can also enjoy this content. Now, let me go first to Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley made a statement for himself. He re-announced himself. He has always been that guy who people talk about. He doesn't have a great amateur background, but he has done well for himself. But people thought he was quite limited. He was a KG boxer like his mentor, Dalian, the body snatcher White. They will fight fire with fire, very, very aggressive, that kind of fighter. He made a statement for himself against Fraser Clark few weeks ago when he managed to stop Fraser Clark in the first round. Let's all remember, Fraser Clark has a better amateur background and he is well more schooled than Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley is that guy who has made it the hard way, and for Fraser Clark to go down in the first round from a devastating punch from Fabio Wardley goes to say a lot about Fabio Wardley. They had the first fight, which was quite cagey. We ended up in the draw, and the rematch was on the Atabetabev and Dimitri Bivol undercard. I think that Fabio Wardley is in great position to become the number one person Daniel Dubois and his team will choose for their April date return. Fabio Wardley did not get himself involved in a cagey fight. He is still fresh. He just needs a few days off and then to return to a 12-week fight camp in order to challenge for a world title. Besides that, he is also signed to Queensberry, which is the same promotional company in which Daniel Dubois is signed to. So that would mean that the winner of that fight does not really matter to the promoters, and they would be willing to do the fight because the belt will still stay in-house, and Daniel Dubois may even end up getting an opportunity to fight for his title just in case he loses. But from the CV of Fabio Wardley, he hasn't faced the kind of top level opposition that would prepare him enough to face the likes of Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is on a great run, but the notable names on the CV of I'm saying Fraser Clark. Fabio Wardley is Fraser Clark, who himself is not a proven fighter. David Adley, not proven fighter. Nathan Goldman, whom Daniel Dubois beat fair and square. Then Eric Melina, who was way past his prime, and Richard Latte, my fellow countryman, which also Daniel Dubois has beaten fair and square. But it was a tough fight, Richard Latte and Daniel Dubois. Whilst it lasted, there was a big exchange of leather in that particular fight. But Fabio Wardley did it better in stopping Richard Latte in 2 rounds. But if you look at the type of opposition Daniel Dubois has faced, they are head, shoulders, and knees above the ones, because Daniel Dubois has faced Joe Joyce when Joe Joyce was on his prime in his prime. Though he lost to Joe Joyce, he came back, got a couple of fights, and he fought Alexander the Cat Usyk, which was a very controversial fight. He lost that fight via a jab and a knockout, and a lot of people thought that Daniel Dubois has quitted in him. But in the Gerald Miller fight, he reinvented himself, then stopped Philip Hegovich, and now he stopped a guy he looked up to in the person of Anthony AJ Joshua. He has been on a perfect run, but let's look at another person who has also been on a perfect run, and that is no other than Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is a world champion, and before Daniel Dubois went to fight Gerald Miller, he was supposed to fight Joseph Parker, and he turned the fight down because of the movement of Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker can easily cause Daniel Dubois problem, and I don't think that would be a more logical fight to choose during a voluntary defense. This is a guy who is more experienced than you. He is not even past his prime. Joseph Parker is about 32 years or 33 years. He is still young, but way experienced than you. He has better chin. He has been in more intense fight than you. He has faced the likes of Anthony A.J. Joshua. Though he lost, he fought a prime Anthony Joshua. He has beaten Zhili Zhang, that powerful hand. Zhili Zhang knocked him down a couple of times, but he was able to get up and rally the victory. Then Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who was then not so much a fighter, but he was able to stick to a game plan and face Deontay Wilder, take away the right hand from him, and beat him to a 12-round unanimous decision. Jack say he is regarded as a cruiserweight, so that doesn't count. Then the Joe Joyce fight, two fights against Derek Chisoro. Let's all remember Derek Chisoro is now on the ascendancy. He has momentum going into his favor, and for Joseph Parker to have beat him twice, that counts for something. He has he has lost to Dillian White, Anthony AJ Joshua. He has faced the likes of Andy Ruiz and Hugo Fury. These are people who, if you look at them, they are far better and more experienced than the level of opposition Daniel Dubois has faced altogether. So I think that if I'm to advise Daniel Dubois, I'll tell him to avoid Joseph Parker and urge him to go towards the Fabio Wardley side of things, because Joseph Parker would cause him a lot of problem. He is chinny, he is now big, he can now crack, he can now engage, and he can at the same time move. And Daniel Dubois has had a lot of problems with movers, and Joseph Parker may not be quite sharp, but he is very, very intelligent and calm under pressure. So if I'm to advise Daniel Dubois, he should go in for the for the Fabio Wardley fight and avoid the Joseph Parker fight. But if he takes the Joseph Parker fight, that means that this guy is really in for his names to be rated in the history book as one of the guys that fought the best. But I've heard Ade made a statement that if Daniel Dubois faces Joseph Parker, it would be the best run in the heavyweight division. I think to differ with Ade just a little bit, because I don't see that would be the best run, because I will still tip the Usyk run ahead of Daniel Dubois run, even if Daniel Dubois chooses Joseph Parker. Because if you look at the Usyk run, if you look at the Alexander the Cat Usyk run, it is the best. It is the best in the heavyweight division for about 2 or 3 years now. Let's take a look at the 2 years run or 3 years run of Alexander the Cat Usyk. He has beaten Anthony A.J. Joshua. He has beaten Daniel Dubois himself, and he has beaten Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Daniel Dubois has beaten who? Gerald Miller, then Philip Hegovich, and then Anthony A.J. Joshua. I think beating Anthony A.J. Joshua, Daniel Dubois, and Tyson Fury is a better run than. So I happen to disagree with Ade on that. But all the same, it would be a good run among the young guys in boxing. And I hope and pray that Daniel Dubois would make the right choice for his career, and I'm betting the likely candidate to be chosen is Fabio Wardley because he is the less experienced of the two, and he may end up generating a lot of English fans to the event. Though Joseph Parker has a lot of English backing himself, I think that the Fabio Wardley fight will pull more crowd, and I don't think it's a Wembley level fighter, but I think that it can fill the O2 arena if the two pugilists collide on in April 2025. So this is my take. I think that Fabio Wardley is a better candidate. So if this is the type of content you do enjoy, if you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Stay positive. Remember, your greatness has no limits.